Breaking news! There's a name buzzing behind the scenes at Allen Park, and it's not one you'd expect. This isn't about a blockbuster trade, a high-profile draft pick, or even a returning star. No, it's about a player who wasn't drafted, didn't initially sign as an undrafted free agent, and yet has the coaching staff, from positional coaches to the top brass, gathering around the practice field saying, "Who is this guy?" If you're a true Lions fan, you're going to want to keep your eyes on this development. It might just be one of the biggest surprises of the offseason. But before we move on, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Lions fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment, "Go Lions." Let's get into it. The Detroit Lions have built a reputation over the past few seasons for being meticulous in their player evaluations, unearthing talent in places where other franchises simply aren't looking. And now, they've got everyone talking about a player from Grand Valley State. That's right, Ian Kenny, a tryout player, yes, a tryout player, is commanding attention at a level that's practically unheard of. Kenny, who went undrafted and wasn't even initially picked up as a UDFA, participated in the Lions rookie minicamp as one of many local hopefuls just looking for a shot. But according to multiple sources, and now confirmed by reactions from the Lions coaching staff, Kenny didn't just show up, he made noise. His performance in drills and team reps was so strong that he drew the attention of several coaches simultaneously. Safeties coach, special teams coordinator, even Dan Campbell himself and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn were seen hovering around, intrigued, and visibly impressed. That is extremely rare for a tryout player. Let's talk about what's making Ian Kenny stand out. First, his athletic profile is off the charts. His relative athletic score, RAS, came in at an astounding 9.14 out of 10, better than any of the Lions' 2024 draft picks or undrafted signees. Physically, he checks every box: ideal height and weight for a safety, blazing speed in the 40-yard dash, explosive agility in the shuttle, and elite metrics in the broad jump. When you stack him up against the measurables of established NFL starters, he's right there, if not ahead. But this isn't just about numbers. This is about impact on the field. During tryouts, Kenny reportedly intercepted a pass and broke multiple tackles in a play that had the entire coaching staff's attention. While footage couldn't be fully shown due to copyright concerns, what's been described paints a clear picture. This kid has instincts, physicality, and that pop factor that coaches dream about finding in the rough. And here's where the story gets even more compelling. The Lions, coming off a 15-2 season, are not a team desperate for depth or scrambling for talent. They are, in every sense, a loaded roster. Yet despite that, the coaching staff is making room to seriously evaluate a Division II player from Grand Valley State because he's shown something that can't be ignored. Ian Kenny is now not just a name on a tryout list, he's officially in the conversation for a roster spot. Depth at the safety position has become an area of focus following the departure of Effiga Melifonwu. Sure, the Lions have two Pro Bowl caliber starters in Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, but after them, it's an open battle. Rookie Darius Jackson is still developing. Eric Hallett, acquired from New Orleans, is unproven. So is Lawrence Strickland. The safeties coach himself even admitted, "We've got five kind of unproven-ish guys trying to figure it out here." That means there's real opportunity for someone like Kenny to crack the rotation, especially if he can contribute on special teams, a known ticket onto NFL rosters for fringe defensive backs. What also makes Kenny's story interesting is his journey. He had conversations with other NFL teams, showing there was broader interest in his potential. But it's Detroit who brought him in, and Detroit who's now buzzing about what he brings. With this kind of attention this early in the offseason, it's hard not to wonder, could Kenny be the next Lions success story, the underdog who earns a helmet and a locker in the fall? So, what do you think, Lions fans? Does Ian Kenny have a real shot at making the 53-man roster? Or is this just off-season hype? Let me know in the comments. We're not just talking about a feel-good camp story. We're potentially witnessing the emergence of a legitimate contributor from the depths of obscurity. A guy who wasn't even on most draft boards now pushing his way into one of the league's most competitive secondaries. And that's no exaggeration. The Detroit Lions have transformed their secondary with key pieces like Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Amick Robertson, and now Carlton Davis. It's a tough unit to crack. Yet, Ian Kenny is making a case that simply cannot be ignored. And let's be honest, this isn't something we typically see. Coaches don't casually rave about tryout players. They don't stop mid-drill to point out a guy wearing a blank jersey number, ask his name, and start considering him for serious reps. But that's what happened here. During that minicamp, multiple coaches, from the safeties coach to Dan Campbell himself, were visibly moved by Kenny's performance. You could almost feel the shift in attention. This wasn't background noise. This was a spotlight moment. And don't overlook the timing. The Lions are no longer in rebuilding mode. This is in 2021. The expectations are sky high coming off a 15-2 campaign and a deep playoff run. The margin for error is razor thin. Every roster spot counts. Every rep matters. If Kenny can make waves now, in this context, it means something. It means he belongs in this conversation. Now zoom out for a second. What does this say about the culture Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have created? It's a place where even a player from a Division II school like Grand Valley State, overlooked by every other franchise, can walk in, show out, and get noticed purely on performance. No politics, no pedigree bias, just football. That's the grit culture Campbell has preached since day one. And Kenny is a living, breathing example of what that culture looks like when it works. Let's also consider the broader implications here. Because if Kenny continues to perform through OTAs and into training camp, the Lions might have to make some real decisions. Do they keep 5 safeties? Does he challenge someone like Eric Hallett or Lawrence Strickland for a spot? Or, dare we say it, does he push for rotational reps if he continues to show he's not just athletic, but also instinctual and scheme ready? And here's the big wild card, special teams. As every Lions fan knows, if you want to make this team as a late round or undrafted player, you better be able to make an impact on special teams. That's where players like Malcolm Rodriguez and Craig Reynolds carved out their paths. And based on Kenny's physical tools and the attention he's getting from the special teams coordinator, don't be shocked if he starts getting live reps there next. So let's recap what we've got. A safety from Grand Valley State with a 9.14 RAS score, the best among all Lions rookies, drafted or not, who's already forcing the coaching staff to pay attention in a crowded, competitive position group. He's got NFL size, elite measurables, and the kind of work ethic that turns a tryout opportunity into a real NFL shot. This isn't just a headline, it's potentially the beginning of a new Lions underdog story. Now here's the question we'll dive into next. With all this depth at safety and such limited roster space, who's most vulnerable if Ian Kenny continues this rise? Whose spot might be on the line? If you're enjoying this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss what's next. And check out the video on screen right now for more exclusive Lions coverage. What makes Ian Kenny's rise so compelling isn't just the numbers, it's the context. We're talking about a Detroit Lions team that's no longer trying to find its identity. This is a squad with real Super Bowl aspirations, loaded with talent across the board. So for a tryout player from Grand Valley State to break through all that noise, that's massive. He didn't just run fast or jump high. He made plays that demanded attention. From intercepting a pass during drills to refusing to go down after the catch, Kenny showed he's more than a workout warrior. He's a football player. And remember, the safety position is quietly one of the few unsettled areas on the roster. After the departure of Afita Melifonwu, there's a clear drop-off after Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. Dan Campbell and the defensive staff know this. That's why the emergence of a player like Kenny is so significant. He brings upside where the depth is still uncertain. This also says a lot about the Lions culture. A tryout player turning heads on a playoff caliber team? That's rare. It means the door is open for anyone who earns it, and that's the kind of environment that keeps competition high and results real. If Kenny keeps this up through training camp, someone else could lose a roster spot. This is more than a story. It's a situation to watch closely.